All right. Look, can a day be any special than today? Let me just tell you what a great day for the city of Houston. Let me start off by certainly acknowledging all of the individuals who are standing with me this evening, and many who are not standing here. They may be some are in Austin, some are out of town. But number one, let me just say what a collective victory for the city of Houston as a whole. Let me acknowledge, of course, Comptroller Chris Brown. Comptroller Brown, let me thank you. Just has been a terrific partner on this journey over the last, 6, 12, 18 months, over the last 18 months. So thank you, Comptroller Brown, quite a bit. To the chairman of BFA, Councilmember Jack Christie. Jack, thank you. Simply has been terrific. Mayor Pro Tem Ellen Cohen, I cannot thank you enough. Can't thank you enough. She was texting the speaker even as of today. So thank you so very much. Councilmember Laster, thank you so very much. Appreciate you. To the other council members who are not here, let me extend my gratitude to all of them. When we, in October, and I'll never forget, October 26th is when we voted on the pension reforms, and the vote was 16-1. I cannot thank the council members. This has been a collective effort. So thank you so very, very much. And then on pension reforms, let me tell you, this journey started, some 17 months ago. And when I met with all three employee groups in the mayor's office around the executive table, the police pension board, cannot say enough. John and Terry and all the entire gang, let me just give a great deal of gratitude and respect to the police pension board. Met with the municipal police employee groups. They were at the table. Sherry, I'm losing names now. Melvin, that's on Hope, but to the entire municipal employee groups. Give me that first name. David on them. Cannot say enough for them. And even fire pension board was sitting at the table back in January, early February. All three of us sat together. And now 17 months down the road, and through those period of time, there have been many meetings, and they've been long meetings. And even over the course of the holidays, when people were celebrating, enjoying the holidays, some were away on their holidays, but they were still on the phone, and they were still texting quite a bit. Let me extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of the employee groups, to police, their pension representatives, as well as to the employees, to the locals, to the municipal workers, their pension representatives, as well as to their employee groups. Melvin on the other end, Ray Hunt for police, to fire. Even though we may not have been on the same page, nonetheless, all of the employees are contributing on behalf of the city of Houston, and so I want to thank them just for their participation, for what they have contributed and what they are contributing to the city of Houston. I certainly want to thank them. So this city owes a great deal of gratitude. Let me just say that to all of our employees, both active and retired, and I hope this city will not forget it as we move forward. So as the mayor of the city of Houston, let me thank all of the employees, folks, for what they have done. Back in May of 2016, I spoke before the Greater Houston Partnership, and even before, I know the number one priority item was pension reform. And over the last 16, 17 months, we have worked very closely with the Greater Houston Partnership. Bob Harvey, of course, is here representing the Greater Houston Partnership. I want to thank him for his leadership and for being there. Please thank him. But Bob, in addition, but Mark Watts is not here. In his absence, I don't want to leave him out because he has been a terrific partner with us, representing being the point person for the Greater Houston Partnership. He spent countless hours here as well as in Austin. And so this has been a journey that we have all been on together. And we have reached this point because of working together on it. And there have been a lot of tough conversations all around. But let me thank the Greater Houston Partnership, the business community. Let me thank those 40 to 50 CEOs who took the time to write letters to the legislature. I want to thank them because this is one of those moments where you don't get to the finish line without people working together on all ends. So thank you, Bob, and the Greater Houston Partnership, and Mark Watts, and Tony Chase. I don't want to leave him out as well for just being terrific partners. Let me thank a very close team with me that has spent probably more hours with me than anyone, and they may question whether or not all of those times were good or bad. But I certainly want to acknowledge Kelly Dow and the finance team. Ron Lewis, the city attorney, and the legal team. I'll talk about Bill Kelly of the government affairs team, but let me just pause for a moment, because none of this would be taking place today without Kelly and Ron, who literally gave up a great deal of their time and truly committed to this process. If there was any set of individuals who were designing the play and were working and putting in the meticulous hours and going through being very meticulous all day, all night, getting up the very next day, giving up their weekends and their holidays, taking the abuse of their boss, and helping to craft the plan to make it happen, it would be Ron and Kelly. And this city owes a great deal. As much as people may say, Mayor, congratulations, I do want you to recognize and appreciate the individuals on the mayor's team that really crafted these reforms, that worked very closely with police, the municipal workers, and fire to make it happen. And I am, on behalf of this city, deeply indebted to Kelly Dow and Ron Lewis for making this happen. And you can't have partners without having people like the Hispanic Chamber joining with the Greater Houston Partnership when we needed that added support. Reached out to Dr. Laura Murillo with the Hispanic Chamber, 40 years in existence. She's been at the helm for 10 years. Asked them for their support without hesitating. The Hispanic Chamber came to our rescue. Thank you, Dr. Murillo. Thank you for the Hispanic Chamber. Melvin, there you are. I didn't know you were back there. And then Judson and I, with the Urban League, had many conversations, and Judson Robinson offered his support and basically said, Mayor, whatever you need to do, whatever we can do We'll write the letters, we'll make the calls, we'll go to Austin. They, in fact, did all of that. And so, Justin, let me thank you and the Houston Area Urban League for being right there. Melvin, I do want to thank you because you took a number of employees. Took a number of employees up to Austin on many different occasions and walked the halls. And so I cannot thank Melvin and Hope and the municipal employees enough. So thank you very much. Appreciate you. And even though Ray Hunt is not here, I certainly want to acknowledge Ray Hunt and his entire posse for just doing an incredible job in representing their interests and in representing the city. Look, the thank you list can go on and on. The point that I want to make is that this has been a total collective effort. Every person played a pivotal role. We would not be at this point if the city did not pull together and say this needed to take place. It also signifies to not only to the people in this city, but for those outside the city, that there is no challenge that this city cannot address, no mountain we cannot climb, if we stand together and work together to make it happen. This has been a problem in the making for 16 and a half years. And probably 16 months ago, many people would have thought it could not happen. Would not be at this point today. And maybe they thought at some point, but certainly not in a year and a half time. Well, a year and a half later, in this legislative session, with the Senate on last night voting 25-5, and the Texas House just less than an hour ago voting 103-43, Houston now has its pension reform, a landmark legislation that puts us on a much more stable course and puts us in a much better position. This is historic. This is major. This is just the way Houston does it, and I could not be more proud to be the mayor of this city at this point in time. I could not be more proud. These are the reforms that we started. This is one of the reforms. What I said last year, that we would move this city and put us on a stronger financial footing. And there were several reforms that we needed to implement in this city. This was one, and the bar was extremely high, extremely high. But today, with the help of the legislature, and I certainly want to thank the House and the Senate, the Speaker in the House, the Lieutenant Governor in the Senate, Chairman Dan Flynn, who carried the bill in the House, Senator Joan Huffman, who carried the bill in the Senate, all of the legislators who supported us in those two respective chambers. We are now have accomplished, and with the signing of the governor, that's small matter. So, certainly hopeful that the governor will now sign it now that it has passed. Puts us in much stronger footing. So at this point in time, let me just stop. Let me just tell you, this is one of those moments where you just want to just kind of take it in and not let it pass too quickly. And so let me stop at this moment and invite to the podium the Comptroller, Chris Brown.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Today is a good day for Houston and Houston's taxpayers, the financial future of our city. This was and continues to be the most critical issue facing the city of Houston. By passing this Houston pension solution, the Texas legislature has helped us avert a financial crisis that could have crippled the city for years to come. I want to congratulate again Mayor Turner on this historic legislative accomplishment. As Vice President Joe Biden says, this is a big deal. I also want to congratulate all the members of City Council, the city pension boards, all the city employees, unions, the Greater Houston Partnership, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, Speaker Joe Strauss, Senator Joan Huffman, Representative Dan Flynn, the Texas House and Senate, and all involved stakeholders in this significant accomplishment. I think I would agree with the mayor. It was a team effort. Without his leadership, I told him last night, I don't think it would have been possible, but I agree there were a lot of people involved to help make this happen. And I think this is why people entrust us to be their elected representatives, because they want us to find real solutions to big problems. And again, Mayor, congratulations on helping to make this happen. With this reform, Houston is setting an example of what can be accomplished when partisanship and politics are put aside in order to find a solution that works for the people. While this is a historic moment for the city of Houston, it's still a little too early to celebrate. Probably we still need that signature, but I know as a fellow Houstonian, Governor Abbott will sign this bill into law, and I'm just been proud to be a part of this team, and again, Mayor and all the stakeholders, everyone, congratulations. This is a huge thing for Houston, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Comptroller. Bob Harvey, representing the Greater Houston Partnership. Bob.
Well, thank you, Mayor. You know, what a day, what an effort, and what a success. And it's just such a wonderful moment to be here, standing here with you and congratulating you. You know, when the partnership started looking at this issue, and it was almost 16 and a half years ago, but I think seriously just a few years ago, we said we had to make this our #1 priority. We said we had to educate the public and the business community. We had to get people involved. We had to position ourselves as a partner to the mayor, because this frankly couldn't happen without the leadership and support of the mayor. We laid out, you recall, Mayor, 6 objectives, 6 elements that we thought needed to be in pension reform, and you hit all 6 with the plan that you developed, and you did it in ways, frankly, that we didn't anticipate, in some of the clever aspects of how you did it. Of course, you brought the key players to the table, which was key to making it happen. You know, we're very pleased that this plan protects the active and retired workers of the city of Houston, which is our #1 objective and our #1 goal. It creates financial certainty for the city of Houston for many years to come. It puts a limit on the cost of pensions in the city budget, which allows us to put resources into other city priorities, which for years, frankly, we couldn't and weren't able to find the resources. So this is a new day, a new beginning for the city, and I'm very excited to be part of it. You thank some of the people. On behalf of the business community of Houston, I have to thank some of those same people. We had leadership in Austin at critical times from the Lieutenant Governor on the Senate side, of course, Chair Joan Huffman in the Senate as chair of the relevant committee, but also as the bill author in the Senate. What a wonderful job she did on a very tough issue. And of course, in the House, we had the Speaker, Joe Strauss, with us at every moment, certainly at the key moments. And Chairman Dan Flynn, what a job he did in the House. Again, taking a very difficult piece of legislation through. So I want to thank them for their efforts. Like you, Mayor, we look forward to Governor Abbott's signature soon. And we appreciate his support, and he has been supportive in the background. And of course, we look for his support now. You referenced Mark Watts, who couldn't be here tonight. Mark has chaired our Municipal Finance Task Force for 3.5 years working on this issue. As you all know, Mark is a former managing partner at Lock Lord, now president of Friedkin. He really gave of himself in a way that none of us could have anticipated or even asked for, frankly, but he did that in a very real way. Now, Mayor, you mentioned that at a critical time, I think you may have said that we had about 40 business leaders show their support. I think 40 was a figure I promised, but when it came up in the Senate, we had 60, and by the time it went over to the House, we had 70. And these are all business leaders who took the time to understand this issue and to put their reputations behind this effort and to say it was the right thing for Houston. So I'm proud of those business leaders who stepped forward in a way, frankly, we haven't seen in Houston in a while on an issue of this magnitude. So again, for all the business leaders that were involved, thank you for your support. But I want to end where I started. Mayor, thank you for your leadership. We absolutely could not have done this without you. We look forward to working with you again in the future. Thank you, Mayor.
And Don Sanders, I see you over there. I don't And thank you, Don, for the support that you've given. And Neil, let me thank you. Neil has also been one of the technicians on pension reform, and I certainly appreciate the hard work that Neil Thomas has put into this entire effort, because you've been right there with Ron and Kelly over the holidays and late into the night, so thank you very, very much. Let me just say in closing that there are a set of reforms that we need to get us on financial solid footing, and to make sure that we have a city that provides the services to the people in this city that they deserve and that they expect. And a city, and we need to continue to build a city that can compete with other cities, not just in this state or in this country, but around the globe. And in order for us to do those big things and the things that people expect, the financial integrity of this city is critically important. This is one of the reforms. It's not all of the reforms. This is only step one. There is a step two. There is a step two. And I want people to remember, this is historic. It's a landmark legislation. But I want all of Houstonians to remember, when we started this journey, we talked about shared sacrifice that would produce shared benefit. Do not underscore, de-emphasize the importance of all employees in the city of Houston who are giving up nearly $2.8 billion of their future benefits, okay, in order to provide financial integrity to the city. Do not let that go lightly, okay? And that's why it's important to thank all of these employees for the sacrifice they are making for the future stability of this city. And they've got a lot of skin in the game. But we all need to have some skin in the game. All of us need to have some skin in the game. Under this reform, we are capping the city's future financial exposure. We are capping it. And the employees have agreed to cap it. Let's not lose sight of that, okay? Because these are the employees that when we need a cop, they're going. When there's a fire, they're going. And when there's trash that needs to be picked up or a pothole needs to be filled, they're going. When the storms are coming, they're there. They've demonstrated in a very tangible way their commitment to this city. These are our employees. Okay? They've committed. But it's shared sacrifice, not partial sacrifice. Everyone needs to be willing to commit and sacrifice for the greatness of this city. Everyone. And I certainly look forward to giving everyone the opportunity to participate in the greatness of this city. Everyone. And just like this was hard in getting us to this point, when many people thought it could not happen, it has happened because of people's dedication and love for this city. But this is not the end of the journey. It's just lap one. There is another lap, and I'm going to ask you to run it right along with me. There is another lap. Historic, yes. Landmark, yes. A model for other cities across the country, yes. And achieved on this day, subject to the governor signing it. I love this governor. But I cannot tell you just how thrilled I am. I don't think you really have any idea. And I'm thrilled with the fact that we have done it together. And that's what's even more pressing. And now we've got to work to pull all of our respective groups together. All of our employees, Chief Aceveda, Chief Pena, all of our employees, we've got to work to pull them together. Because the reality is we may have disagreed on this one deal, but there are so many more things in which we agree, okay? So many more things. and we need to make sure that all of our employees are paid for what they rightfully do, and that we appreciate and respect them, not beat them down. And so now we've got to pull together as a family, okay, to thank our first responders and to thank the people out there who are picking up our trash at the health department, in the libraries, you name it. We have to appreciate them and support them. And as long as I'm mayor, that's exactly what we will intend to do, okay? So thank you, and I would say let the balloons fall and all of that, confetti, but I'll leave that to Mike Morris to have the, he's digital, so Mike, as you write, the confetti by this time it's supposed to have been falling, so just act like it's falling down, but a wonderful day to be a Houstonian. Thank you all so very, very much.